Now this is going to be fun. You may hear the pitter-patter of the rain in the background of this audio, but what you can't actually hear is the lightning that I am seeing every few seconds here. You might hear the thunder as well. I'm in Chiba right now, and I'm recording this video talking about the Detroit Red Wings and Dylan Larkin because we had ourselves some really interesting updates as it pertains to the Larkin situation. You see, the hot new scoop on the block was the fact that Dylan Larkin, the captain of the Detroit Red Wings for the past 6 seasons, has indeed requested out. But that was a few weeks ago. Where have things gone since then? Well, let's go over to a few sources and get ourselves the scoop. Michael Russo said this on Jeff Merrick's show, The Sheet, earlier this week regarding Dylan Larkin. The Vegas Golden Knights and the Florida Panthers right now do not have interest in him. But the Wild still do. Obviously, Michael Russo is a Minnesota Wild-based beat reporter, so a lot of the stuff he goes out there and talks about is going to have a Wild-focused theme. But hearing that Vegas and Florida straight up just don't want this guy, that's kind of funny, you know? Like, we have all this talk, all this conversation about teams that Larkin is willing to go to, which it's not a long list. It was at max 4 teams long between Vegas, Minnesota, Florida, and then Dallas towards the end of it. But if 2 out of those 4 teams are just straight up like, nah, we actually don't really want you, man. We just got Brady Tkachuk. We just went out there and made the Stanley Cup Finals. The last thing we need is you, D-Boss. Then there is some sort of an irony to that, in my opinion. NHL Rumor Report did respond to this discourse saying that Larkin has reportedly not budged on his short list of teams that he would consider going to, which might also include Dallas. This was talked about by Helene St. James earlier in the week that Dylan Larkin has not budged on his request to be traded. That was made shortly after the season ended. And this is where things get really interesting because now knowing that, 1, Dylan Larkin has not budged on his trade wishes, but also knowing that number 2 out of the 4 teams that he wanted to go to actually just don't give a damn about him enough in order to take him on, it does make things feel very awkward. Glad Independence 24 said Dylan wanted those teams more than those teams wanted him. He's played this about as well as a 5v5 shift in March. And if he could read the 5v5 part, he'd be very upset. Okay, that seems more like a Brady Tkachuk kind of insult rather than a Dylan Larkin specific insult. Another reply goes out there and says, much like the Minnesota Wild, this Dylan Larkin trade saga has been mild, and Dylan is still a child. Yeah, I think that is an accurate way to look at this. Dylan really let his ego get away with this one. Seems to be a consistent trait of his. I mean, it may not even have been ego. He might just be a child throwing a tantrum about why he can't play with his friends. His gold medal went to his head. This offseason brought him back down to earth. Open up your list, Dylan Larkin, and screw you, man. Yikes. If this guy actually ends up coming back to Detroit in some form or another this upcoming season, with or without the captaincy on his sweater, I don't know how you're going to avoid the boos coming down from Red Wings fans in Little Caesars Arena who are so fed up with this entire saga. He limited his options to only 3 or 4 teams. 2 of those teams didn't actually want him. The only team that actually still does is Minnesota because Quinn Hughes is over there, because they need a center. And Dylan Larkin, obviously, we know that he wants to play with Quinn Hughes. Who knows? Maybe Hughes wants to play with Larkin more than he wants to play with his brother Jack and Luke. That's possible. I mean, all these NTDP American dudes seem to have that sort of clique mentality anyway. But further to the idea of Dylan Larkin sticking around in Detroit, this is what Ted Kulfin out of the Detroit News went out there and said on 97.1 The Ticket. Red Wings beat writer Ted Kulfin said people around the organization, I wouldn't want to say the word confident, but the thing is, they kind of feel like when the time comes, Dylan Larkin is gonna be in camp. I mean, the options are limited. Does he want to hold out? I doubt that. That, of course, would be a total disaster class of decisions for Dylan Larkin. Not just the trade request at the beginning of everything, but also if he straight up decides to forfeit all the money that he'll be making in this upcoming year, forfeit the $8 million, which is guaranteed to him, and then miss out on an entire year of playing hockey. This guy could ruin his career if he decides to not show up because, he's just so upset with being a Red Wing. He just doesn't want to be a Red Wing anymore. He wanted to leave. He wanted to go play with Quinn Hughes. And then there's that ludicrous idea, hey, what if Quinn Hughes and Larkin get traded for each other? Which would be like the opposite of what either of them would want. This was talked about by a number of Red Wings fans. Dylan, you gotta expand your list. Or just rot on the couch for all I care. I hope to never see you in the winged wheel again. Champagne Athletics went out there and said that, that's a Big Thunder piece of audio right there. Hope y'all enjoyed that. But this post had 500 likes, 45,000 views. Grand Rapids will take him. Okay, that's not going to happen. We're not seeing Dylan Larkin get sent down to the AHL. That guy would have to pass through waivers. And, does he have no move protection on his contract or no trade protection? Oh, it's no trade protection. If it was no move, then he would be automatically unable to go to the American Hockey League. But who knows if Larkin would be able to go down this time. You also had some other conversations, some semantics going out there and being discussed amongst Red Wings fans. Whether or not Vegas or Florida actually offered any significant packages to Detroit for the Dylan Larkin. Thought Tomas Hertl, something like that. Who really knows if that's actually a conversation that went down. But I think there is a difference between saying, the Red Wings may have rejected a Florida or Vegas trade proposal for Larkin versus just saying that those two teams didn't care about acquiring him in the first place. And that's what Minnesota beat reporter Michael Russo was saying, that, the Wild, they want to get this guy, but Vegas and Florida, they don't. It's just getting worse and worse as the days go on and as more things start coming out about Dylan Larkin and his NHL career and its future. You can let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. With all of this being blasted into the forefront now, rumors that both Vegas and Florida do not see any interest in this guy. Minnesota does. It seems like they're the only team that can actually make a trade go through, but then it's like they spent all their assets to get Quinn Hughes and, their top center is Joel Eriksson-Ek. It's not really a sustainable path if you just want to keep on throwing all your futures away for guys that can help you in the now. Not that Dylan Larkin's not going to be able to do that, but Minnesota's been a mid-team for so long. They just got Quinn Hughes. Now they're starting to do some damage. Is really going for it and acquiring a Dylan Larkin the best course of action at the moment? You can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. This Larkin situation is just getting uglier by the day. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.